Have you ever wondered how and why spells work? Why do we pick certain candles for certain rituals? And why do we use certain incense? Is it just woo-woo, or is there actual science behind all of this? In color psychology, it has been proven that colors can affect your mood. Warm colors like yellows, orange, and red can often increase your heart rate and give you this energetic feeling and alertness. That is why red is such a passionate color, and why most fast food restaurants choose warm colors to create a sense of urgency in their food. On the other hand, when it comes to cool colors like greens, blues, and purple, these can lower your heart rate and also create a sense of calmness and stillness. That is why a lot of times we see tech companies or financial companies use cooler colors in their logo to create a sense of trustworthiness. And that is also why many politicians choose to wear the color blue in their suit to create a sense of stability and trustworthiness between the people that are viewing them. When it comes to the way we perceive color, it's actually a very complex process that I'm not going to explain that well. So you might want to do your own research to really get the science behind it. But basically, when light hits our eyes, our photoreceptor cells interpret that light. And then the brain will interpret that color and send signals to the parts of your brain that also control emotion, influencing our overall psychological state. The way we perceive colors has a lot to do with our personal experience and our cultural upbringing. That is why wearing white in some cultures is seen as pure and innocent, whereas in another culture it is seen as mourning. But when it comes to the spiritual side of colors, this is why we use certain colors in our magic routine and our rituals. Oftentimes when we think of love and passion, we think of red. So if we're going to do a love or passion spell, then we would use the color red candle. Same thing with money or abundance. Oftentimes we correlate money and abundance to the color green, so we will burn the green candle. That is also why many practitioners choose to wear the color black, because black represents power and protection. And it's a constant reminder that they are protected and powerful. But many practitioners don't wait until a ritual or spell work in order to be serious with the color choices they pick. It's something that they intentionally do every single day, from the clothes that they wear to the way they decorate their home. Even if you're not a practitioner, using colors to amplify your emotions on what you want to feel is very important. That is why we are so drawn to our favorite color, because our favorite color is often associated with happiness and joy. And that is why my entire art room is surrounded in green. So the next time you have an interview or you have to do a big speech in front of a lot of people, try wearing a blue suit or incorporating blue into your wardrobe. And if you're a little anxious, you're a little nervous, and you don't feel that powerful, try wearing, red undergarments to increase that power within you. Now that we know the science and magic behind color, let's jump right into the science and magic behind sound. There has been a plethora of studies around how sound affects our emotions, like the binaural beat. When you listen to this beat consistently, it has been known to reduce anxiety, create calmness, focus, and creativity. When it comes to different frequencies of sound, lower frequencies between 20 and 250 hertz often can create a sense of groundedness. And those sounds usually sound like thunder or banging a gong. But on the other end, just like with color, it all depends on the specific person, because where one could feel grounded listening to that, someone else might feel tension. The same is true for higher frequencies in the 4,000 to 20,000 hertz. This often sounds like a screech or an alarm. Some people could hear this and become immediately energized because it raises our blood pressures and gets us pumped. But someone else, it could cause anxiety and stress. Even our voice can soothe us, and it often can tell us how we're feeling in the moment, because as our mood and energy changes, so does the fluctuation of our voice. When we're excited, we get high pitched. When we're nervous, we get a little antsy in our voice and shaky. I made an entire video on the power of our voice and how speaking with our true voice in a neutral tone can calm us down and regulate us and bring us back to center. If you want to see that video, I have it linked in the iCard above. Now, when it comes to sound in our rituals and spell work, it is also very important because it can really set the tone of our ritual. That is why many practitioners chant a mantra while they are doing a ritual, especially in a monotone voice, because that calmness regulates us and we get to consistently repeat over and over again. Those words also have power. And there's also other practitioners who like to do things like create playlists to play during our rituals that amplify our spirits and put us in the frequency of whatever ritual that we're doing. Dancing is also another very beautiful high energy exercise that you can do during your rituals, and it absolutely puts you in that mood. For me, whenever I'm doing beauty magic, I will play songs that make me feel beautiful and loved, and I will dance in front of the mirror and immediately feel the energy surrounding me. Now we know the science and magic behind sound, so let's get straight into the magic and science behind smell. Unlike any other sense, the sense of smell is the only sense that has a direct connection to the brain's memory and emotional centers. This is why smells can trigger your emotions and memories so quickly. For me, whenever I smell chlorinated water, it brings me back to the time where I spent my summers in the pool as a child. And the spiritual aspect of it all, this is why a lot of practitioners use certain herbs or incense to burn, because literally burning certain incense can create peace and safety and security within us to make us know and feel that we are protected and our room and home is cleansed. A lot of practitioners who work with beauty deities, or they simply have a beauty altar themselves, will spray perfumes on their altar as well as themselves to remember and revibrate on that frequency of beauty and love. Because when you start to associate certain smells with what you want, like an expensive perfume makes me feel expensive, so I am expensive and I am beautiful, then I'm more likely to spray that perfume on me so that way I can always feel expensive and beautiful. Even the words that we speak are frequency. Did you know that? Yes, words can affect your mood too. Whenever you hear negative words or speak negative words, it can actually harm you and cause you stress. That is why many practitioners strongly advise against using words like not in a sentence when using affirmations. Instead of saying, I am not broke, you should say, I am abundant, or I have more than enough. Because speaking positive words will stimulate your frontal lobe and create positive emotions. Now that you know the power of spells, frequency, magic, and science, I hope that this information helps you on your spiritual journey. And I also want to preference this by saying that science is science and magic is magic. There are certain things in science and magic that can often align to help us understand certain things. But at the end of the day, that is between logic and imagination. Logic and magic, science and spirituality. So it is very important not to steer too far to the left of the logic and reasoning side of things where you no longer have the intuitive and imaginational side. Make sure you stay grounded and centered on your journey, because steering too far to the right can often cause spiritual psychosis. And even with all of this information, if you're still wondering, okay, well, I get how the frequency changes, but how does that make the magic work? How? I could list some theories, but I don't have the answers either. Maybe programming the individual tools has something to do with it. Like a candle, many practitioners will rub their hands on the candle before lighting it and set their intention, dressing it with herbs and pouring that intention and energy into the candle. And once they light it, it goes from potential energy to kinetic, pushing it out into the ethers. Because if you have the belief that we are all interconnected, including the objects and things around us, then you know that this is not separate from me. Or maybe you believe that it's all internal and it's all mental. So the fact that I believe that this candle is lit creates that mind and reality within my head. Then it has no other choice but to create in my reality. Whatever the truth is up to you, because it's your truth. And that's the beauty behind magic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Elle, for those of you who are new. If you want to see more videos where I take science and magic and kind of make them make sense, then give this video a thumbs up, leave comments down below, and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.